Citizen TV, the citizen power.
Samson, good morning.
Good morning, Minyaba.
Bako de.
Enti senra.
Me se boko ho ye.
Em se bako ba enti senra.
Enti senra. Eno na kire sen.
Enye. Ke o ka habo asam. Eno
o ka habo asam.
Eno o ka uba asam. Eno o ka se ne boko so pa. So
na say I don't buy for some $100 in to
okay, Fango no BDCs no they every daily basis they are increasing the
price. They no one some there was a producer this ankrofo na akasa ba na mbiso mkosa because the one mo charge no me here
spare parts cost because it's edit our pot and it's part of their overhead expenditure.
Serious anyway pot to say
me say enye to say nura
dia na ama enye to say nura nsesan be na aba port.
Okay, my main di kan chair wuti for ina me chair Ghana for me chair dwadifo a omo ye importers and exporters in this country and me chair Ghana for am so mo ba market ba didwa awo ye dwa ha because omo ni ho a dwadifo so you can do business when those who supposed to come and patronize goods no.
Okay.
Ti ye dwom ho awum say wo market nema ne bo ekosropa. In fact, not only the yakra every man neighbor. Menim say
yeah wa Ghana ha na nkasa no.
Video bia tomatoes 5 was for like
and I said na no Panama
20 cities or so.
And now pa me Saturday me koto ntos ete Ghana no ye hwegu me nsem say ya metime kita ete cities.
So that is how terrible and so bad it is. Until I have for anye nko ana yema ye nem ebo ekosoro even there you produce your do Ghana ha ne bo ekosoro. And what suffices me is say them say last year na so na Minister of Agri say they will take in charge of the food distribution. Okay.
Yeah.
And they said we were going to start from the ministries.
Yeah.
And they expanded to region to the district.
So you have a tomb body in now.
Sika sign almost say omugu. When they just a contract no. Ghana for kura media mumbo ye Ghana for.
Bibia media. Bibia na mo dey say.
So do mu chiko business say sika sign no mo use here. Sa aduane na ewan. Mo se na aduane no bo be fufu ewan. Me omo disika no. Omo for taxpayer sika di kwa na mo koye. The attorney say habo ho no enko ye maye in the sense say there's a cost of doing business, the cost component of doing business I work Ghana no is on the high note. Na minim say your minister na ye ni minister but minim say minister of transport ho minim say minister of trade ho and minim say minister of finance ho.
Yeah,
these key ministries no kay say omun come tibom no muntimin tra one table like this. Now among fra ya dwade for na yesu ba no muntito ye no munti yasam so that the three of them can retire to a meeting. In fact, transport is key, trade is key, finance is key, agri is also key.
Okay.
Because there are some of the components to say food like this. Yeah, the free amount bar. Say among and that is because of hunger, because there's a gap. What you say?
Yeah.
So that we are not just importing. We are importing because if say to say last time trade minister so year 21 and 23 line item to restrict no. Say salo and buy come say but now Ghana have gone back to 81 hunger no. So okay, say 81 hunger no. Where in his blessing former President Rawlings got some grants, food donations from other countries. Wheat and sorghum and they came and distributed maize, yellow corn, yellow corn. So the point here is we are a strategic partner to government. But sometimes government treat us as if say we are just a common trader and not a common criminal. What you say? And also you are the for the omubo chrono. You are the for they are doing undercutting. You are the for they doing. But if you go, meanwhile we signed to signatories called the World Trade Organization (WTO). And a World Custom Organization, WCO, so that by WTO, no, so many year trader, minimum cotton name about me buy, receipt mom, or custom officer, no. So based on my transactional values, and then you assess me. And then many casino, yeah, you are the Libyan who have found transactional paper by na custom agitum. They are debating cry.
Are they?
Because they use their own discretions.
omo ayi so o ma dwen
ai eno ana ekopeja sa Benjamin values ne ba
aha kan na mbe bisa
say me ko family ne ma ba me say ade na me ton $1 million and we say chinchina asakoto na $2 million and they come to kwa and we say okay member or discount, so it comes back to the transaction value. So about we say 2021 2022 no they were accepting, me can say on confidence they were accepting our transactional values. That was why at that time now the Toyota Vita yeah Uber no, yeah, but at that time over 20 to say 10,000 14,000 as a duty. Now Saka was costing the market 25,000, 30 at the west it was 30,000. And then Saka no Upesota Saka no over 84,000.
Vis.
Yeah, Toyota Vis.
Vis yeah.
Because Udi the bus here due to what you like 44,000. Our time report is here. Sa CV Honda CV are first now it costs no less than 150,000 over 2 ton. And then Upesota Saka na we get 350,000 to 400,000 when you Saka na. Because due to na cost. Obi ano otua frozen food import duty maybe 70,000 and 88,000. A picture of over 200,000, 300,000.
For the same container.
For the same container. That is what is happening, including other features. Sorry, in 2023, so there were introduction of VAT.
Yeah.
A ban page of 15%. They claim there's a cost there. The cost element between 6.5 or so. It's a cost. A ban say NG2, we should absorb it. No businessman is for a Christmas. A ban says, oh, if you don't when they import they don't file their tax returns. And so Mr. introduce a tax rate of 2.5 upfront tax or portal. So upfront tax no by law no. Law doesn't go by retrospective. So I can't retrospective young quality. Say law and then no.
Yeah.
But they went back and picked people BOEs that they have cleared 2 years ago. They say, look, what did
there is some now can answer what can I ridiculous ano. As it told natural. Yeah. What's it there?
Yeah, me hano. One of the finest gentlemen in advocacy in this country.
I'm not disputing that. Yet, as I'm not told, canon kakra.
Because main throw MLB. I don't want to spoil anybody's image.
Okay.
And then who say since till did want to say Obia for important association court. Obia for important association police station. Say over defamation of character. Yes, I am. So I'll make sure I stick to the issue so that who could be the panel on to case as a cowboy.
Yeah.
Me see, sir, upfront tax that was introduced. No.
Upfront tax, no. Saying percentage, yes,
2.5.
2.5.
Omo we do for pa. Na sir, upfront tax say yemra, say economy and on quantity. But what happened was that they even went back and picked people views that was passed. Say, look, what they come and pay.
So upfront tax, no, Chiremuma Ghana fronti here. Sir, 2.5 for now, yeah, Gemono. Omo Jemo say a tax beya. Okay. Sir, upfront tax now about the sir 2023 about the 2 tax backport. Okay. Or increasing VAT by 2.5. Or no VAT no at the existing VAT she say I have 15%. 15%. It is me confirm name free am number phone saba na me duty me invoice value FOB no value no and CI value na 100,000 na. If the duty component is 10% of the $100,000 or whatever, they will add the calculation what they got from the duty rate. So I'm trying to say a more import this na 20%. Okay. And I say a new car 5%. Okay. Then my car $100,000. Until you calculate 5% over the $100,000. The amount that the government got, no, they will add back to the $100,000. Could be 120,000. Then they will now deduct you VAT. First time the VAT na 15%. In fact, before even the VAT, not 50%. Before I buy in 2017. No. Now you can VAT, health insurance, get fund, at 2 once. So yes, so if my rate, assuming that my duty rate was 5%,
5% before I buy, we buy. No, say 5% import VAT over. So you have it 5% over 100 times the figure now.
Okay.
If assume they get 20,000, they would have added back to the 100,000. So it could be it became 120,000.
Okay.
Then they would deduct that time it was 17.5, right?
Yeah, 17.5.
17.5. Then they would deduct 17.5 over 100 times 120,000.
Okay.
You get it? They are not taxing me the VAT on. They are not taxing me the VAT on the 100,000. They are not taxing me the VAT on the 120,000. That's how double taxation it is in this country. Then, when this government came, they said no, they won't lamp like that. So they said get health insurance. Health insurance, NIHL, is 2.5 on its own. Bakune friends, get fund, right?
Get fund.
Also 2.5 on its own. So when you deduct this one all from the 7.5, so it becomes 12.5 also. Is that not it? It becomes 12.5. Good. So start 12.5 now. So when they came, they were now taken as only invoice value of 100,000 baht. They will take you the 5%. They will add it back. Then they will take you 12.5 VAT. Then they will add it back. Then they will take you 2.5 get fund. Then they will add it back. Then they will take you 2.5 health insurance. Then they add it back.
Hey.
But in 2023, they said no. That 12.5, no. That was the meeting now. Omukoye was Pedrosi. Now President Dika Babaka said there will be haircut. And Atufosin took them on. Atufosin took them on. And they said there won't be haircut. He was misled. And true haircut came. You remember?
Yes.
So in that meeting, that we were thinking they were going. And remember that meeting, there was a meeting. Gupta Kumasi had closed down 3 days.
Yeah.
It took Asante Hema to intervene because people were coming from Interland to buy goods for 3 days. Then Gupta Kumasi also closed down for 2 days. On the 3rd day, Amwambayin Kasa met with them and said they were going to retire too. But then the minister was in New York negotiating to get the IMF condition. And the president himself promised Gupta that by Sunday, the finance minister will return to Ghana and the government will go to retreat for 3 days. So they will do something about the tax.
Okay.
So when they went for that 3 days, we thought they were going to abolish some of the tax that we were talking about. Then the president himself came and said that even Ghana tax is the lowest and that we are going to see more tax. That was the budget in 2023 that we saw that instead of 12.5 VAT, they introduced additional 2.5, making VAT now 15% at the port. So you see, I will offer 100,000 value bar, and this car, it is 5% over your 100,000. The difference they got, they will add it back to the 100,000. Then they will take you now 15%, which used to be 12.5. So they are not taking 15%. So it have increased in tax at the port. 50% VAT alone. Then they will come back. What they got from the 50% rate over the 120,000, they will add it back to 120,000. So maybe they could get it maybe 10,000. Then they will add it back to that become 130,000.
110.
30,000.
Okay. 30.
Yes, because if it's 120,000 plus 10,000, it becomes 130,000. Then they will then come to take the 2.5 get fund. So maybe they got 5,000, so it becomes 135,000. Then they will add 5,000 back to the 100. Yes, that's how it is. Then they will not take you get health insurance at 2.5.
Then they will add it.
Then if you are not lucky and you are a first-timer importer, first-timer commercial importer, we call it the terminology they call it. If you are a first-timer commercial importer, they will know that they will say, okay, you self, maybe you may not even come out to do VAT filing, tax filing. So they will charge you additional upfront tax of 2.5 VAT. Okay.
Commercial purpose. Almost say, be an one sign for your man, maybe a man. And I saw Bacoto, we are one barber yet. Oh, my tax filing. Until mama upfront.
Yes, upfront, they will charge you an upfront 2.5. Before they will not charge you AU levy, levy, levy. Nyama. Because I said, Nyama. Bisa IPMC, your friend was IPMC. No, I said Chartered Institute. No. You're from there, yeah, IPMC. No. They are chartered accountants, chartered institutions, chartered accountants.
I see, Anna. No.
And I'm for fraud. You were Deloitte and Touche. You you are IPMG or BBB. They are chartered. They are around Abelemkpe area.
Is it KPMG? No, not KPMG.
Well, I don't know. They are, what I'm trying to say here is that there are chartered accountants in this country. Yambisa will say, is that how taxable it's supposed to be? What they are saying?
Nah,
let me annoy you and your listeners. Even calculating the get fund and health insurance, you have charge a net get fund, net health insurance. Yes. Yes.
Get fund, any NHIS and HINO. Omasa create another one.
Net get fund. Net health insurance. Yes. Yembisa. So auditor. Auditor side SML.
Yeah.
So
KPMG
for no. Yembisa will say what advice role, tax advisory role are they giving to government, especially GRA. Now, quite GRA say that you have a lot of chartered accountants there. Minti a promise. Yeah, charge you VAT, we are health insurance VAT, health insurance 2.5 health insurance, 2.5 get fund. Now, some tax net interest. Some say they charge interest.
That's madness.
That is how bad. We no. They are after
the last time do my documents we now say my missing a kakra. We show my akamani budget.
Oh.
Because
tax component now.
Tax component.
And I say, or he didn't get back to me on time. I am say, I sacrificed to be here this morning, but I will try to get you a tax.
I remember you sent it to me. Let me check.
I think I can still get Mayebi.
Yeah.
Mayebi.
I'm checking my chat. So something.
Oh, they send me high. I mean, me new number.
Only me number. I am ring of it. Where's my answer? No, why service?
Me TV program.
So you didn't know what kind of TV is only my number. Okay, I think I've got it. Menya.
Where your document now?
So you sent it to me.
Yes, okay, that's all. Okay, that's right.
So let me send that one to Godwin. Then.
So that is how bad it is.
Citizen TV, the citizen power.